Welcome to part 59 of the Kicho Wong Dong series. In this episode, we're looking at a very advanced technique called the Ssang Bahl Apchagi. Now, roughly translated, this means double simultaneous jump front snap kick. So in order to do this technique, you obviously need down your snap kick, you need a jumping snap kick, and a whole host of popping kicks. You need to be used to jumping up in the air and doing kicks at a high level, from basic kicks to snap kick, roundhouse, back kick, and spinning kicks. With that being said, this kick has no practical application that I know of. It is simply a test of your skill and a great confidence booster for students. We often do this kick in fun classes, in a height game that I'll mention later, and I seem to get a really great response out of students who manage to land this kick. It is an often surprising kick where they do it and they go, wow, I didn't know I could do that. So in terms of a confidence builder, this is a great kick. And if you can't do it, this means go back to your training. To warm up, first of all, you need some dynamic training, a warm up. Big leaping jumps, getting the knees up to the chest. Old school game that works for me is bouncing on the spot, jumping up with your knees. We've done this before in previous videos. Then to set up, the idea would be to have someone with their hands or maybe some focus pads or some paddles and jump up and bring your knees to the paddle and get that as high as you can, making sure you're keeping your arms in, you're lifting your knees high and keeping your back straight, head up. Now when you get to your highest, that is your kicking level, and you need to jump up with your knees and then explode both legs forward. I should mention here that a certain amount of hamstring flexibility is required because this will put demands on your hamstring, so don't do this kick cold. And then you just simply kick out. Now you start off with some bounces, bouncing up, lifting the knees and kicking out, and then over time you develop that without the bounce. Okay, but again, because there's no practical application, it doesn't need to be done straight away. So oftentimes when we do it in class on the pads, we run forward and I tell people to jump on an imaginary trampoline, to go up and kick. I'm going to go straight into the common mistakes now, because once you have those done with, the technique will come together. So the main one is people trying to kick with their feet from the floor and trying to lift their legs up with straight legs. This is pretty much impossible, and this is the problem I mainly see with people, is that they're not bringing their knees up first. Usually in the videos the common mistakes are equal. This one is so important. You must get those knees up first. The kick is just not worth doing if you can't. Get those knees up. Even with the target low, bring your knees up way above and then kick out. This is a really good help. The second common mistake is people not kicking out with their legs together, i.e. they bring their knees up and it's more of a yang bahl than a ssang bahl. So make sure your feet execute at the same time. One that, again, it doesn't have practical application, so it doesn't matter too much, is people not bending their toes back. Again, it's not the end of the world because it's not a real kick, but again, a snap kick, you bend your toes back. So in this kick, you should bend your toes back to keep them safe so they don't break if you're hitting a harder surface, or perhaps you'd like to break with this technique. You would need that, you need to bend your toes back for that. So moving on now to the tests. The one I told first, which I often get students to start with, is the height game, where you start off very low and build up, boom, 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 stages, 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 getting it up and bringing those kicks up, trying to get as high as you can with good posture. And then when you can do it on a pad, you try and do it to the same height without a target. So test 2 is simply the same thing, but trying to kick out and have that same. If you take a freeze frame, your legs are in line, like you're reaching forward for your toes, like a forward fold stretch in the air. And that can be difficult to do without a target. It's one of these kicks where easier with something to visualize, and without it, your form kind of goes. So the second test is to have that form there. Now the third test, and again I told you at the start, it's not a practical thing. So far we've been kicking a target that's straight down, which I often tell you not to kick, is to kick a flat surface like this. So a wave rider, a bob, a board. Kicking up and then driving your hips forward is very, very difficult. Now you'll probably find that you can't kick as high as when you kick straight up, but this is the same with a regular snap kick. So the ability to jump up and kick straight forward is the last test, and this is where you need to bend your toes back and have good posture so you don't fall backwards and hurt yourself. So thank you very much for watching this tutorial on the double jump front snap kick. It is a very advanced technique. My advice would be to practice it on a mat in case you fall, and once you're confident you can do it on a hard floor or surface then. Again, if you are enjoying the channel, please watch other videos, all the videos, and go back and let us know what you thought of them. And if I've missed anything else out, please let me know in the comments below and I will cover it, I promise. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and thanks.